Okay, Jules, I need you to sing this with me. Ready? Get yourself ready. Warm up the throat. And Jules missed his part. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to STFC Briefings. Voice of the players live from Discord. It's going to be fun. We've got Outpost Battle Pass, which was Jules Verne's idea. Just confirming that. We've got other things such as the Excelsior. Can it actually reaches the level that you want it to reach, or you don't know? Do you actually benefit from doing Outpost anymore? Can you get any of the stuff in there? There's so much to talk about. And the challenge track. Oh, welcome everybody. We do have Quasel here, which always makes things exciting. He does have some errors, which is the usual standard. Quasel, how is it like being a Scopely headquarters and finding the errors, sir?
I don't know, because I'm not at Scopely's headquarters.
Ah, okay. No, you said you
information.
Yeah. Sorry, I just thought you said you had loads of errors. Yeah. Quasel had loads of errors, so I was waiting.
I have loads of errors, but yeah.
They are on STFC.cc, by the way.
Maybe by association. I don't know.
Yes, no. There are a few things that I want to do before we kind of begin with a lot of things. Number one, we need to support our friends at STFC.pro. So what I'm going to do is, if you do join the website and if you want to get anything from my website other than donating to them directly, which is what I recommend. I don't know if they get like fees taken off when you do PayPal and stuff like that, but ask them out the best way to do so, because those people deserve for everything they do. They are absolute brilliant. And they deserve the support for especially the website that's going to come up. If you buy anything off the website, every single penny of any merchandise will go directly to them, and I'm going to pass it on as a donation from me. And then the charity for this month is the Human HWA, which is absolutely brilliant. The vote won by quite a small margin, but it was quite interesting. So that was all the proceedings that we get from any donations or any memberships that go there. But any of the merchandise, I want to make sure we give to STFC.pro. That is my gift to me. They don't know, and I will pass it on to them the most efficient, less admin-y way possible. Chronox, I want to do this when it's recorded, so it's official. So you hear it while it's recorded, and it's not something I'm doing off recording. I just think that you guys do an absolute brilliant job, and I want to make sure that we support you the best way we can, and the only way I know how to do so. So that'll be the first thing. So yeah, we want to make sure we support them the best way. So yeah, go to their website. I know they've got a PayPal link at the bottom. They do have some merch as well. Some of their merch is pretty cool, man. I like that merch. So yeah, if you wish to pick up something, and you want to, help them out, this will be the way. They do a lot for us, guys, so it'd be nice to jump in there with them. That is the most important thing with that. So that is something that we would like to support. That's the first thing. The HWA won, so KJ and his lovely bandit will have some lovely support, hopefully, with a wonderful animal charity that we're going to give away this month. I will open the progress bar tomorrow. It's already at a number because obviously I'm putting everything that we're getting in from there. So, and obviously if you do go to bandit.com, banditprint.com, you can also order some great stuff on there, which is absolutely wicked. And what happens there is, KJ kindly, if you use the code Voice of the Players, VOTP, all the proceedings come this way, and then they go to charity as well. So we can support all our friends and everyone like that. And the final support present that I would like to hand out is this. And I don't care what this person says because he refuses to come on stage. It's his fault for not coming on stage because I would have done it without him being here. I'm creating a little fund on the side. If anyone wishes to donate, just write the word Jules Verne. And we would like to make his cruise a really special one. So anything like that, I'd like to hand over to him. He's got no choice but to accept it, and that is the only thing he gets. He is already going to get some merch in a lovely link. Jules Verne is typing right now. Everyone ignore the text, because whatever he types, we're deleting it. I just want to make sure that he has a great cruise. He's a great support to the community, and I don't care what Jules Verne says. Jules says he loves Nigel. That's really weird. You told me you're going to name one of your children after me, and you didn't call them Nigel because it's a name that no one has. Right. To the serious stuff right now. There's the website, Quasel. Thank you very much. It's in the chat, people. more than happy. Bandit print will, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little post which I'll show Bandit print. I'm going to show STFC.pro, and I'll just put a picture of it's just I'm going to put a picture of Jules Verne's fake face on there, just saying we love Jules. Jules is going to make me delete the I love Nigel comment. Oh, dear God. Why'd you do this to me, Jules? I've done it, Jules. Just because I follow or through to my promises. Yeah, some great merch on STFC.pro. KJ, I see you jumped in.
And Nigel, for anything that I send you as well, I don't care if you send it to charity or you send it to STFC.pro or it's whatever you want to do with that funding that comes in.
Oh, no, I appreciate that. I'm going to try.
I'm not writing it off or anything. I'm just passing it along.
Yeah, exactly.
And my dog is not being forced into puppy labor. He is actually a very well-paid in treats quality assurance representative.
Oh, okay. That is confirmed. No animals were harmed in making of any of the stuff.
No animals are harmed in the production of Valentine's Day 3D printed merchandise.
Oh yeah, Valentine's Day. Yeah, that'd be nice. Maybe get one of those STFC Pro T-shirts. They look quite nice. 80s inspired. We do have, sadly, thanks to Paramount, we do have some official Vega merchandise. So if you do want to go to the store, all the money from the Vega merchandise, we will take it to them. So we'll see how that happens. It's a good thing Lum said I heard Nigel doesn't moderate anyone. You are probably correct. I am V'ger. So loads of V'ger stuff. Yes, please go and get some stuff. There's some cool stuff. They approved that logo. There's another 2 logos to be approved. Once Paramount approve those logos, we will post those out for people, and then I will give some giveaways, which will be fun, which would be great. That's our alliance. People keep killing us. Oh, V'ger. Oh, great. Your alliance sounds great. Sleepy Queen, how are you finding more stuff of me? How is this possible? There's a Nigel cartoon character. Jules Verne's typing, so whatever Jules Verne types, if there's anything negative, will be deleted. Jules Verne can only type positive things, and they will be left in the chat. Right, Quasel, to the serious question that's happening with everybody. If you do Outpost and you're an Ops 53, do you go right in there and do it because you'll make a profit?
Not impressed with the current changes.
Yeah. So what are the changes, Quasel? Just so everyone here understands at the moment.
I mean,
yeah. It's
today the blog post went out, and they're kind of really limiting the starts we're getting now.
Yeah, they did change it, by the way. We got a final post that said the blog was changed to the correct numbers. So we will see how that works out, which means, technically speaking, I've done some math. I know you've done some math, and probably Jules has done some math. If I am reading it correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Quasel, because I haven't told you this yet, at Ops, you only start making profit enough plunder if you did a 63 and above, right? So basically, Ops 63 and above is when it's useful. Am I right? Or is it even higher than that?
I mean, it depends on how you define useful. I mean, and how much you invest into the elite starts. So it also a little bit depends. I didn't factor that in yet. But pulling a Cisco shard daily is kind of out of reach for almost up to G7 if you didn't spend on Cisco or the primes and can't use loot crews. So free to play, I don't see how they reasonable will get any Cisco shot.
Yeah.
With the current sourcing. So it's like, I mean,
it just seems like it's really difficult to be maybe positive about it. I mean, look, you get the Alliance tournament starts, which are how many? 4 is it? You can get 4-ish.
Yeah, you can get 4 if you're an alliance that has a master league.
It's just like, it's amazing. Jules Verne has said a very bad statement. I will find your personal financial support. It's not personal. We just love you. So it will happen. Jules Verne will be given that.
Nigel, I just want to clarify something that you're talking about, Quasel. When you say profit off of the Outpost starts, are you talking about using your plunder to buy additional starts?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about just when someone should start doing Outposts in general?
Yeah, you know, let's put it into numbers. I mean, if I'm assuming you're doing, let's say, a 60, let's say a 63, because you could choose G6 regular, and you're doing maybe, let's say, 60 elite, and you get all the possible starts. Or let's say you're free to play and you're getting, I don't know, we get 12 starts.
Yeah.
For of those are kind of 2 from master and 2 from elite. So if I exclude those because they don't buy the battle pass, you can run 8 regular outposts a month. And let's assume they have a little bit of loot bonus because, you know, you have maybe from Sloan, or you can lose a little bit of loot crew lower decks and stuff. Then they are getting, and then maybe they can do, let's say, in theory, if you can get 5 or 6 elite starts. I think elite is 6 day or 6 day 20 hours cooldown, because I can check that.
Yeah, it's
the one thing that I wanted to make clear was you should never just not do outposts, right? It doesn't matter what option you are. If you have the ability to do outposts, don't let those starts pile up.
Yeah, that's true.
Beyond, right? So you're always going to get something. You may not want to spend your plunder right away till your store increases, but if you have access to starts, you should be doing outposts.
Yes, exactly. I agree with KJ here. I think people should not ever stop doing outposts. In fact, you should make sure you're never at the limit. But the problem is if you wanted to make a profit, i.e., if you wanted to pull everything you wanted to pull out, I think it's
impossible.
It's impossible. So but Quasel, if you could post your chart into the chat, I think that'd be something that we should show people.
Yeah, I just entering the numbers because Jules confirmed the cooldown.
Yeah, Jules confirmed it's a good down. Mr. Tony Sir says, is it going to be a $10 or $20 output pass? I mean, that's a very good point, actually. As far as I'm concerned, I would probably guess at $20, but I don't know. And then if you did get that gives you a limited amount of starts, which you have to then look at on whether it's actually useful or something that you want to see that is worthwhile. Let me have a look. So basically, basic outpost directives, you get 2 from the Alliance Depth League and higher. And then you get from the BP rewards 3 stars in total per 1 free, 2 on the elite path. Oh my god, that is not a lot. Elite outpost directives, 5 stars total per month, sourced between battle pass and refinery. And then outpost refinery exchange up to 1 star per week, usually retaliation plunder. Or if you double pull it, I would double pull it because can we double pull it, Jules or Quasel? What do you think? Can we double pull that one at least?
I mean, it's simple. I just posted one example that that's a very rough napkin math. I hope I made no error because I used Jules' calculator and put in numbers and changed formulas. But I think it's correct. So if you do 60 regulars and 60 elites, and you can kill all hostiles, so you can do the full run, and you run, let's say, 8 per month from the regulars and 4 elite. So I have excluded everything that's paid or master.
Yeah.
Then you're getting about on average 409 plunder per day. So in 3 days, you kind of can afford the pull for the elites, and that's worth it because you get more out of it than it costs you. So you can make the max bundle because the bundle is 1,200. So that's 3 days. And then you can, the rest of the week, every other day, maybe get a Cisco shard. So you get 2 Cisco shards a week.
Yeah, and also, nice. Also Daystros has put a outstanding post down. He says Burton did the math earlier, and then for this month we're looking at 100 directives per day for the refinery, 5 stars total, 2,400 standard directives from Alliance tournaments, 600 standard directives for free track, 600 elite directives in the free track of the battle pass, 2,400 elite directives from the refinery if you're doing the very expensive double pulls. And the bottom track of the Battle Pass will include 1,200 standard directives, 600 elite directives, which is 2 starts and 1 start. So last month, free-to-play available had 20.5 standard starts and 6 elite starts, plus 6 with the paid Battle Pass. This month, based on what they've said, 10 standard starts, plus 2 with the paid Battle Pass, or 6 elite starts and 1 additional one. So you only get 1 with the paid elite side of it as well, which just seems a bit low, but I mean, they must have a theory to it, and it must be something that they've been thinking about and how to achieve.
Yeah, the problem is The
Yeah.
problem is we have what 200% loot bonus from a prime for each of those things.
Yeah.
We have up to 200% from Cisco, so you can take those numbers by 5, and suddenly it doesn't look too bad. So it's kind of a corner they maneuvered themselves into.
Yeah, it's quite a sad corner. Anyways,
Yeah.
it's their choice. They probably have a reason why they've done it.
Yeah.
To do that.
I mean,
Until we know, it's all
buy more
speculation.
packs.
Well,
Yeah.
I just think that. Well, the thing is, you've just got to decide how you're going to achieve it. And like, if you, I was
Yeah.
trying to do the math. I'm saying if I double pull my elite, I need to make sure I make that plunder and more on top. So if I double pull my
Yeah.
elite in each week, so I can do one elite start a week, I need to make sure I at least make that and a bit more on top, to cover
Yeah.
the other 600 to 700 that I'm going to
Yeah,
get in the week.
it's that's the problem. If you look at the graph, I mean, if you pull one elite, you're making 1,474 in my situation that I
Yeah.
just calculated.
Yeah.
So in theory, you're making whopping 200 surplus if you're pulling the weekly start.
Yeah, exactly, and also
Max
McShiz,
pulling.
and also and also McShiz brings a very good point. He says a lot of us do not have Cisco and will not for quite a while, but be sure to count
Yeah.
Cisco in. So we can't really count Cisco as in like we're assuming everyone has him and available and slotted and working, and you've upgraded him to whatever level you need to upgrade him to. This is for the mid to low average player, and even the mid high player are going to struggle big time with this. So that's a critical thing. So let's make sure that we have that math down, and that will be something that they would look
Yeah.
at. Look, they made a decision.
So the feedback is if you're still single pulling, then you make a profit of the elites, I'd say, because 150, that's 300. So you should be able to make a net profit on that in mid to higher G6. Below
Yeah.
that, it highly depends on loot crew and stuff.
So yeah, it might be that you have to be like 63, 64, 65 when you start, seeing a benefit to doing them, but obviously but make sure you never hit your limit. So if you're at very close to the 3,000 or the 1,800 for the elites, make sure you
Yeah.
do at least one just to kind of cover yourself and get some resources, because you want to keep pulling those as best as you can, especially when the battle pass comes. And bearing in mind, technically territory is resetting in 5 days, which it's not, as everyone would understand. And they will announce the date of that soon, by the way. So and don't worry, it's not close to that. It's a little bit further down the line. So no one needs to panic in 5 days' time or 4 days' time when territory resets. Just a little exclusive for you guys here. But I know what the date is. I cannot reveal the date, obviously, until they make a decision on that one. Jim PI says, no other Armada type concept in the game charges the Armada loot to get directive. Zero logic or defense for the move. Sure. In agreement there. What is the overflow pull on Outpost directive? So it's what? So it's 1,800 and 3,000. So yeah, Mr. Tony Sir, you've just got to try and sort of time that really well. So I assume you can't pull the chest if you're at your limit, basically, or you're very close to your limit, and you need to find a way to be odd numbered in the limit. And you got there once. Okay, that's pretty cool. Slim says, any word on merges? Yeah, it's definitely not this month. They're looking at them for next month with Ascensions and all that sort of stuff. I think they just wanted to get through the year. So let's see how that goes before they move on to the next thing. There's an overflow pull. I just can't remember. Yeah, just let us know when you get there, Mr. Tony, sir. Any of that feedback is absolutely awesome. Unless Quasel or Jules know anything that they could let us know what the overflow is. Maybe it's like a 5-minute speed up, which I always enjoy getting a 5-minute speed up.
The elite one has no overflow. I can't pull anything because I'm above the limit.
No overflow.
Because I didn't
blocked.
do really.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
On the elite ones and on the normal ones, I think it's been the 1,000 of the buff currency, if I'm remembering correctly. So yeah, ignore it.
Yeah,
Doesn't
ignore
matter.
it. Well, Mr. Sony, sir, he says it's something. Yeah, it's probably the buff currency. So that will be something that we got there. So look, sadly, A decision was made. We've just got to try and work within that decision and find the overflow and allow us all advocates to push them into the feedback, trying to make them understand that it's not profitable till you're about 63 plus. According to my math anyway, it might be way higher than that. And that's a decision they've got to make with regards to that. So hopefully they will listen and they will make a decision regarding it, because that's really, really, really painful.
I think elite pools should be the same as the regular ones. They should be free at least. Because,
Yeah, exactly. I think they should allow at least the normal outpost to do that. Ryan, oh, there you are, buddy. Who is Elita? That is the Austrian word for elite. He says Elita. I feel like this will be the next Gaelegate. No, hopefully not. We're going to constructively tell them that this is the way. I know already behind the scenes that legendary people have been doing an absolutely superb job on advocating that to the developers. So hopefully they will look at it and see what that is. Ryan says #free Alita. So that is not Quazel's girlfriend who was in a band and played music with him when he was younger, or does his graphic design, which, by the way, sorry for everybody that the video is ruined. I've just got to copy and paste Quazel's logo somewhere. Just because it's Quazel. He refuses to have it on an avatar or anything. I wanted Jules to jump in here so I can...
I'm refusing you slumbering and destroying and making... I mean, distortion from beginning to the end.
Distortion. I mean, even... Yeah.
Make it properly. I think we need to send you something. I know, we need to send you something. Yeah, but, she's been in the hospital for appendix removal, and she's now getting better, but yeah.
And just people are aware, A, we'd like to send her thoughts and hopefully she gets better, but B, I always am doing 2 eyebrows up in the air when Quazel mentions her, so it's quite exciting. So the challenge track. Oh my word, people. Some of it is piss easy, and some of it is like, what the hell are they doing? It's absolutely nuts. I mean, I worked my butt off with someone trying to get someone to kill one V'ger silent hostile, and it was absolutely nuts to try and get them to do so. It's crazy. I think the track is good. I think it gives you the rare outpost bits that you need in the free section. And remember, the free section is till number 5. Milestone 5 is you completing it for that week. However, we can't complete it if we have to do Apex Barrier. That's absolutely insane that you can't get. So basically, you have to go into it intending to die to the highest hostile possible with the most amount of Apex Barrier you can put in. So that'll be quite critical to advise as many of our people. So make sure you give everyone the advice possible. I'm going to post a couple of crews that my alliance have created who have been brilliant at finding ways around it. There's loads of free-to-play players that have managed to achieve it, even though they don't have the power to do it. So that is the key. We just need to go back to them with these dailies, and they need to make them easy until they figure out what the issue is and how they're going to balance it. Indrik says, I did the Apex 1-in-1 hostile. I know some are that. And also Jules Verne has come up with a doozy, which is why we're going to pay him some money. That's another Jules Verne tip. You see what I did there, Jules? We're tipping you. I'm loving these tips. And add an SNW crew so the battle lasts the longest. Little Cheesemeister maneuver there by Julio Vertinho. So, yeah, that's a way to sort of do that, which is absolutely...
And best place for that below deck.
Yeah.
Can I just say something about the dailies?
Yeah, go on then. Go on, Arky.
So the big daily is 100 kills at your level.
Well, no,
the big daily is Apex Barrier.
Yeah,
which that metric is borked, so it turned into 100 kills after 2:30 our time mark. It wasn't that. It's not meant to be that.
Yeah, it's not meant to be that.
I'm looking at the dailies, and it says you got to kill 100 of them for the Gorn, whatever it is, and then the other ones.
Read the tooltip.
Read again.
Yeah, read the eye on the icon and have a look. It tells you it's the
I
amount
do
of...
have a question, Nigel.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think when you're giving them feedback, part of the issue that people had with some of the CCs was that they were calling it a battle pass.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not. Yeah, go
it's
on.
not a battle pass. It's a challenge track. But the way that they have visually designed this is a battle pass. It looks like a battle pass.
Yes.
There is no free and elite track. So why are there two different columns in each row? Why didn't they just put it in one box? So it visually looks like a battle pass.
Yeah. I wish I knew the inside minds of what made them design it this way, but that's how they designed it. So I'm sure.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't meaning for you to answer. I think that you should take that back
Yeah.
for maybe a future iteration of it, because this is something that's going to stick around. I don't have an issue with the track. I think that the track is fine. I think that it lays out exactly what you're going to get.
Yeah.
I think that people will find that $20 a week is worth the faction credits and the officer charts.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a personal choice. I just don't like the way that it's visually designed.
Yes.
I think the mechanic wise of it is fine once they get their scoring metrics figured out correctly.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I remember for weeks and weeks and weeks, all I kept saying here was, what does completion look like to you? And people want to see an end point. That's the problem. And it doesn't show you an end point. It just, like, in the middle, you stop, and then there's a different color of a column, and you go, oh, okay, so I can't, so 1 to 5 without the ship, 6 and 7 with the ship, 8 buy additional rewards, about 40% more rewards than the beginning. It's actually slightly more than that, because go on, Ark.
But it's all confusing, because I mean, obviously I see that now, all right? 8 billion points in isolated damage is 1 point, right? And you gotta get 100 of them, right?
Yes.
Most people are thinking that's 100 kills.
No, yeah.
Can't they just put the number amount of isolated damage you've got to get?
Because in the Boldly Go event, when we had numbers that were exceeding the amount of numbers you need to hit, you know what happened that time.
Yep.
So I'm just throwing the logic on how they did. Look, I understand it, but I think.
So why not lower them? So what? So why not lower them?
Well,
because at the end of the day, if you can only do 8 billion a kit, all right. If you can only do 8 billion in one shot, even if you die, right?
Yeah. But
it's still 100 kills.
Okay.
It's only 1 point.
No, I get it. I get it, Ark. And the thing is, remember, guys, this is the first week of an arc. This happens every single arc, every single time. Everyone's like, there's things and bits and things that we don't quite like. They're not going to make visual changes. I doubt it. I think they're not going to make... They will wait for data, because that's how they operate. So let them wait for their data. The way I'd approach it is the advocates are fighting very hard for the apex barrier to be lowered so that it's achievable, and some ISO damage things to be achievable. So hopefully them listening to this would be an advocation for them to go, okay, a lot of players are struggling, let's try and change some of the dailies. Because the dailies are every day, they've got time to hopefully change it before the next run. Remember, we haven't even seen the Horak yet, the Stewie Doos, the Horaks, or the Lums as I call them sometimes, the Horaks. You need to see how that's like, get the data on that, and then go, right, okay, what's the rebalancing required in all of this to try and make it achievable for everybody. If people struggle, I'm going to put some surprising crews. I know that there are way better and smarter people than me around here, except today, Quasel, I actually got a very special email I'm going to share with a few people that actually, you're not close to me. Why would I tell you? Jules, I love you. Love you, Jules. The legend between the sheets, but is not the green sheet. Always love Jules. I'll tell Jules, but Jules, because he doesn't respond with any enthusiasm to me ever, he just goes, yeah, Nigel, yeah, whatever. I'm like, yeah, great, thanks, Jules. I feel there. And we haven't had Blue Mando. Blue, we need some Blues crews as well. So let's get some of those things. There are some crews that we have found that will, if you're struggling, you will make it happen. Oh my God, we have a Major Samo's here. Oh my God, does Major Samo even really want to listen to me and all the crap that I speak about? Major Samo says seems to be all over the place with the scoring. Some can't come close. Some are finishing everything in one hit. Bizarre. Each generation needs to be assessed individually, perhaps. I think Major Samo, what they need to do is they need to find. Let's just make it doable for everybody within the 25 kill mark. We will adjust the numbers during that time and find out how it works, and then we can put it back up to what it needs to be. I just think that people need to achieve. And this is a valuable question coming in from Jules Verne as well. Here's a valuable question to ask the group. How much apex barrier do you mitigate when you defeat 10 silents at your level? That'll be a question in there. Anyone can please tag Jules into the response on that one, so he's got some data for you to look at, which will be amazing to sort of add into the mix. Okie dokie. Yeah, 25 is good. The doable with 25 is good. That's what
I
I'm
think
thinking.
25 is too much. You know why?
Why is that?
It's the easy task. We have an easy task, which is supposed to be the easy done in 2 hostiles or I don't know what. Because the hard task is kill 10 at your level. So why do I need to put more effort into the easy task?
Yeah, but
I don't get it.
what I mean is I think you should do a temporary fix. You're getting an interim manager at the football club until you fix the solution and get
Yeah.
the permanent manager in. You just need to make
Yeah.
it sure so everyone can actually do it.
Then
done.
make it the same 10 kills as for the other task and be done with it.
Yeah, and we do have
So nice.
a Sniper here. Yes, Sniper, go ahead, buddy. Thank you for coming in. I know I was trying to time it at a good
Yeah.
time. Yeah, go ahead.
No, appreciate it. And, and sorry I'm late. I missed the beginning of everything we discussed. But
Yeah.
if I'm understanding this portion correctly, I think, and I don't know if it was discussed already, but I think one immediate fix that hopefully should be fairly easy for them to implement, and it won't fix the problem, but it will fix people's understanding of it, is they should change the scoring so you can actually see the score. Right? They should make it so, like, if you need to get a certain amount of apex barrier, like 25 trillion or whatever, show 25 trillion. And then you could see, oh, I just hit 1 and I got 1 million, right? So I got 1 million out of 25 trillion. Now I know there's a problem, right?
Yeah,
right now it's hard to collect the data because we don't know how it's scoring.
Yeah, this is what Ark suggested as well. The only problem is, remember in the Boldly Go when they put the numbers down and then the numbers disappeared and you never knew what they were. So that's I'm just throwing the pitfall in there. But yeah, go ahead, Sniper. Keep going.
Yeah, so I think that's key because people's accounts can be all over the place, right? But we can start seeing similarities in the data. Like, if all our, lower G6 players have a goal of 20 trillion and they're getting 1 million per hostile, well, we know that scoring is either broken or it's non-workable, right?
Yes.
Whereas on the other hand, if we have, different level of player, like a G5 player and their score requires, 10 million and they're getting 9 million per hit.
Yes.
Well, then we know that theirs is either fine or should be adjusted up, right?
Yes.
So the problem is we need to be able to see that. It's too complex, at least for us. I mean, maybe Scopely could see it all on the back end, but we can't easily communicate that because we don't know what the underlying data is, right? Like, so if we hit a hostile, we can look at a battle log and we can guess, oh, maybe it's based on each hit or each weapon or each battle, but we don't actually have that data and we don't know. If we actually could see it visually in the goal itself and see, hey, I hit this hostile, this is how much points I'm scoring.
Yes.
Then I'd be able to determine, how many hostiles do I need to hit, for instance? Does it change when I hit up? Does it change when I hit different crews, right?
Yeah.
I can't do any of that testing or measuring right now. So I would think that would be like step 1, right?
Okay, yeah.
Is get us to the point where we can see that data. Then we could actually determine all the smart people here and all the smart people, all the other CCs and all the players. Like, we'll community source what is needed after that.
Yes.
But I think that's step 1.
Yeah, true. Yeah, yes,
you
Quasel.
get the data, tools ask for it. And if you don't know how to do it, if you're on a desktop, at least, export the battle log and you can upload it to Spox.club or just post the battle log in the data collection channel. We can upload it to Spox.club and check ourselves. because there you easily see how much damage was mitigated by Epic
Yeah, but
Barrier in the Battle of Two.
Quasel. Sorry, not to interrupt you, Quasel. I think that the issue is there. We don't know what metric Scopely is going on, right? So yeah, we can see how much Apex
we know
Barrier we did.
Yeah, but we can collect the data how much people mitigate with Apex Barrier, and we have the data how much they need to score, and then we can compare ops ranges. Like for me in G7, it's been a kill of 2 hostiles, and the mitigation task was done because I had Apex Barrier from research, Apex Barrier from the crew.
Yeah,
it's been done in 2 kills.
That is true. But before anyone jumps in, just let me pass the mic around. Blue Mando, you just jumped on, buddy. I know Vuel, you've jumped on. Just mute yourself for a second. I'll get to you. Blue Mando, what are your thoughts regarding this?
I just realized though, in terms of the scoring of the 100, like at first I was like, just make it so instead of saying 100 counts of 5 billion, just make it 500 billion. I realized that's not a good idea because then the daily mechanics, the little tick marks and server ticks and everything are counting in the billions versus counting up to like a 100 kind of tally.
Yeah,
I imagine that might bog down the server.
Yeah, true.
I do all that calculation.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I like Sniper's idea that the fact that, let's see the numbers in a visual sense of what they are counting. So the battle logs may tell us one thing, Quasel, Jules, and everyone else. It's like they're telling us one thing, but we don't know what they are actually really counting. We assume it's that. But I think Sandra's brought a good point up. There's too much Apex shred out there, which is just causing, people hard. It's very hard to get enough barrier around so that you can get the barriers required to mitigate it. Yes, KJ.
I think also too, Quasel, I love you dearly. I love everyone that does all the tools, but we've got to be very careful about using that as a scapegoat for Scopely actually telling us and Scopely providing the information in the game client to us. We should not have to use external tools to figure out how to do a daily event.
Yeah, true.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, which brings a good point to what Sniper says regarding that, which is a step one. So Sniper, Vuel, have you got any thoughts regarding this, buddy?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think a lot of folks here probably have the same issue as me.
Yes.
The way this daily is built, it is a punishment for progression. And I say that because I went through my logs with the fine-tooth comb.
Yeah. I
am mitigating almost all of the ISO damage. I don't have any ISO defense officers on the ship. This is just my natural ISO defense. After that, after my ISO defense, I only have 1.5 billion damage per shot getting to my barrier.
Yes, yeah.
So I have no ability per shot to mitigate more than 1.5 billion because that's all that's getting to the barrier to be mitigated. So even when I'm running Nesmith, Max Nesmith, and Max Anorex, and I have every artifact that gives the barrier max, and I'm running Max Godsend, all that stuff's maxed, there's only 1.5 billion getting to it for it to do anything with. So that ends up being about 43 to 45 billion per kill. But if I'm needing 24 billion to score, I'm at best going to get 2 points per kill. So I look at this like it's a punishment for progression because those of us that really got our ISO defense numbers good, they're now shooting us in the foot.
yeah, that's true. And Vuel, just to double check, you have gone to you summoned or went as high a hostile as possible because Quasel says you should punch up. So you went to the absolute highest one you can when you attempted this as well.
If I go to the highest one I can get to with the Apex Barrier crew, I'm dead in one shot and still only got 1, maybe 2 points.
Oh God! So the points still not there's still not enough in there to kind of let it through. Yeah.
The ISO damage just I'm still mitigating like 98% of the ISO damage or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm still my ISO defense and research and all that is shooting me in the foot.
Yeah, exactly.
I still think the key here is prolonging the battle because at the end of the day, in terms of how much time you're spending doing this, how many rounds the battle goes is the same amount of time from your perspective, but it could be more points from the same perspective too, in terms of more chances to mitigate damage because you're the S&W trigger is causing it to constantly heal and prolonging that battle and letting you mitigate more damage.
Yeah,
And
so that might be the way.
I can't say the same thing
Yeah.
if you're struggling against the lowest level.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I don't know. I just want to see, is it cheesable in that sense of, like, if you punch up with the trigger or something like that. I just want to make sure if it's cheesable, I don't know how much changing needs to happen to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That definitely needs to be looked at. Monocle, I'll get you up here in a second. I've just got we'll go through this round table first, and then I'll get you up here, buddy.
Darth Wyatt said he.
Can I do a quick question?
Yes.
So that we can compare it. How's the other task looking like? Have people problems today with the ISO damage, or I think it's done in 1, 2, 3 kills?
Yeah. I mean, I did it quickly. I mean, I'm quite lucky because I'm a ship guy, so I go really aggressive my ships first. And that was easy for me. But everyone else in the chat, please. Then Viol says ISO was one and done. Sniper, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, ISO. I mean, I'll be honest, at least for me, I didn't notice any problem with doing any of the dailies. Now, I don't know what the difference is, and that's where I go to the point of, perhaps we would need to see it, because I have huge amount of ISO defense too, right? Like my ISO defense is probably every bit of ISO defense you can have as a 72, right? Without putting specific ISO defense officers on. And I didn't have any issue doing the daily, at all, right? It was done in, no time.
Yeah.
Both the ISO and the Apex. So again, I'm not sure what I might have done differently, or like if I'm using a different crew, if I'm, hitting different levels. I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is I didn't run into any problems, but I know other people in my alliance, other people I talked to did run into problems. So, that's why I feel like we don't have enough data to know. We can make an assumption, it's based per shot, or it's per round, or it's per entire battle with one hostile, or it's cumulative. But until we have that data, we're just guessing that that's the case. Or until Scopely comes out and puts out a blog that says, hey, this is how we're calculating it.
Yeah.
Right. We don't really know.
So Jules Verne has just put a couple of Cheez-It crews for Silence: Anorax, Seska Suder, Pick Hugh, Walk Carroll, and the band SNW officer Below Deck. I like how you don't even name them, Jules, because they're banned. You don't even say their name. The Voyager version which gives you 62, 9.8 billion apex mitigated per hostile. Max relativity versus 69, 161 billion apex mitigated per hostile. And max cube at 72, 1.5 trillion apex mitigated per hostile. But Jim PI says the daily event should never require mathing it out or crazy crews. Daily, even under the challenge side of it, it should relatively be simple. Now, Jim, remember, this is not the super easy task. This is the slightly harder task. So, some people are lucky with that. We just need to figure out how we help everyone else to ensure that they can do it quite quickly and doing that. And Virtual Army makes a very good point. We now need a way of lowering our own ISO defense and shred that we automatically let. It's not like you can turn off an artifact and go ahead with it. Monocle, buddy, sorry, I didn't give you a chance to say your stuff, bud. What would you like to say?
I just wanted to comment that what we really seem to be experiencing is that this implementation represents a vast discrepancy between operations levels and where those accounts are built.
Yes.
Part of that may just be a matter of the spotlight being shown on how someone's account has been built.
Yes.
But like for myself, I'm 65. I'm running this with G5 Epics, and I have had no issues at all. Like everything it was easy. It was easy peasy. I went up, killed them. 100 hostiles on one hole, nothing.
Oh wow!
But then I see other people in my alliance that struggle just as much with. I couldn't even kill one hostile or two hostile, and so we're going through crew recommendations. We're looking at all these issues, and so I think probably more than anything, like if I had a moment with the STFC team, I would say there's a balance issue in this implementation that really needs to be evaluated. And it's not a individual, it's not the whole system. It's the tasks as they are per ops level, that there's a balance issue that was missed in this design.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
we unfortunately as advocates need to find where that issue is to guide them to focus at a certain point. Because, like you said, Monocle, you didn't struggle at all. I had a 68 that was never ever killing a single hostile, and then a 68 in my alliance, he found a way to kill the hostile and made it, work. And it made me go, wow, there's two 68s, both of them probably doing very well. Maybe one's got a different playstyle to the other. One's a PvE focus, one's PvP focus, let's say. And they probably are not able to do the task equally, not because of their ops level, but because of, the way they've researched or done things in their account. And that's the fascinating part of it. It is fascinating to discuss. But yeah, Quasel, thoughts on that?
Yeah, it comes down to officer levels very often, especially in the current situation with Suda and PQ below our decks. With we have Wrath of Khan Carol, Wrath of Khan Scotty. There are so many combinations, and if you have those officers, it's a breeze for some stuff. And if people don't have those officers, they kind of struggle. Combined with a very good point Blue and the Lauren made about lower deck slots. How many do you have? Can you fit all the things in we need today? Like Halbridge from Torres and maybe a little bit of Burning or Moral from Kim and all those goodies we have. So I kind of would like to have twice the lower deck slots sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. And then Sniper, your thoughts here? You've jumped on.
Yeah, just going on what Quasel was saying, I think he makes an excellent point. Like, officers definitely play a big part in it and what level officers you have. Because if you look at it, and even just what research you have in combination, right? Because hull repair is a huge aspect of it, right? And with the right research, having Suitor above deck and PQ below deck, you could hit the cap, which is 95% hull repair.
Yeah.
So really that means every single round, you're only taking 5% of the incoming damage. And that's after, obviously, that's only what's coming to your hull. So that's after main mitigation, that's after shields, that's after everything. So out of what's coming to your hull, you're only taking 5% of that per round. So you're going to last more rounds, and therefore you're going to take more incoming damage, which probably helps build the score up as well. So if you consider, like, if those are lower tiers and you're only, let's say, blocking 80% of incoming damage, or you're only blocking, 70%, well, then you're going to die a lot quicker, right? Because now you're taking, 30% of damage, which may be a much bigger number if these guys are doing a lot of damage, especially if you're punching up, right?
Yeah,
true. So
I think
the amount of rounds you last could go way down.
Yeah, I think the ISO one is not really the problem. The Apex Barrier one is definitely an issue. Arc, just help me for a second by muting. Red Lentless, buddy. Yeah, what would you like to say?
Hello. I just wanted to jump on something that Quasel just said, and you guys are talking about right now about officer levels.
Yeah.
And tie in the adjustment that this content and content that's rolled up here recently has made toward FKR ships.
Yes.
So the Apex Barrier in particular, it's the Apex Barrier mitigation daily.
Yeah.
It goes up incrementally for every ops.
Yes.
And it seems to me like they're adjusting that Apex because the system's assuming that I'm going to upgrade a rare ship.
Yeah.
So I'm 69 right now. It's saying at 66, you should be able to do this. At 67, 68, 69.
Yeah.
But I'm not pouring resources into that ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm at a point where I'm banging my head up against, I've got good officers. I've got decent research and artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saving that for a Krencha. And the game is saying, no, either you're going to upgrade this rare or you're going to struggle.
Yeah, true. Actually, you make a very good point up, and then just mute yourself after this, please. Just you bring a very good point up, Red Lentless, which has been quite good. Chronox brings a good point because this is what Relentless was going towards. But there's a huge dependency on things like crews, the right FTs, the right level of ships, and your research. There's too many variables, which is why some people are struggling massively because, like you, Relentless, you've decided, I want to focus and put everything into my Crancher. That's my target on how I'm playing this game. So you might struggle a bit more than someone who says, no, I've pushed my ship as high as possible and then I go up in ups. Or someone who says, I'm just going to go up in ops levels and I need to do that. And there's too many variables of things that you're not really sure about, and that's where the balancing issue becomes very complicated because we can't just go, hey, let's just do hey guys, this is the crew that works for everybody. It doesn't quite work like that, does it, Quasel? Even with the green sheet, I mean the officer cheat sheet, even then you still are not 100%. In your cheat sheet, by the way, is there anything for these new hostiles? Are you working on something like that? Hopefully there is.
There's no special thingies for hostile tabs yet. I mean, you can search for like Apex in and find out which Forbidden Tech or Chaos Tech has anything related to Apex bearer.
Yeah.
We did that on stream the other day. And to make one comment, so I can finally be called the Scopeless Shield. Don't forget.
Yeah.
First, they came back from vacation, so they are in kind of startup mode. Second, they put out communications too early weeks ago and then had to bite or had to bite the dust, or how you call it.
Yes.
So I hope they are looking at the numbers. We have given them feedback, and the feedback in the CC channel was very loud about it being, let's say, hilarious, the scoring.
Yes.
So I hope they will react to it, and they have a little bit of time to make us whole, because it runs until Sunday.
Yeah, true.
So,
I mean,
hope.
Yeah, I mean, give them time, sure. I would go for the relief side of things. If you're, as Taco will tell you, if you're a Manchester United manager and you're Ruben Amorim and you're about to fall on your sword, maybe allow the interim manager to do something and be able to just stabilize everyone and then say, hey guys, for this week, we're going to make it this. This will not stay like this. This is just an interim amount as we research more of the details, and we'll come back to you. No one would attack them for that. They would be a wonderful piece of communication. They have been communicating a lot with things. So this would be, please, please, please help us so that everyone can finish it and enjoy. It's the beginning of the year. Dave just come back from holiday. Let us enjoy our holiday. I mean, let's decide what you're going to give people and so on and so forth. This is a really, really important part of the aspect of the game that I hope they get. Yes, Ark, you unmuted yourself, buddy.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say, the communications about incursions.
Incursions? No, that happened ages ago. No, the communication right now.
Yeah, I know. It happened like right before Christmas, and then there's not another word from Scope about incursions, so hardly anybody knew it was going to happen.
Oh yeah, but they don't have to remind you twice. It's your fault if you don't get it the first time, right? So, and also that's part of incursions. If you don't listen, you shield, and if you don't shield, well, then I can do that.
Well, yeah, but I have another issue.
Yeah,
okay?
Go on. You on?
So, has anybody else got lagging chat?
Yeah, I know what this is. I know what this is.
Mine doesn't refresh. I have to log off of the game and log back in on my iPad to get the chat to refresh.
I get it, Ark. I'm just going to be very kind in saying that I want to just move this discussion into specific things rather than bugs. There is a bugs channel here. Put it in there. I know the issue with that. They are on the way with the fix. It involves quite a few different things. That involves a hostile spawning as well, and that involves a few things that they're looking into. So once they've done that, they will get into this. The lagging chat's wrong expression. They're even missing chat. Yeah, if Ark forgets the shield at incursions, I will need to raid him. That's what Sniper says. So Sniper's brought up some points. The reason I wanted to do most of this was Sniper, thank you very much, has brought up some absolute corkers of points of the Outpost directive sourcing. Sniper, we've kind of discussed it. I will let you put your 2 cents in regarding it, and then we'll move on to the Epic Proto Matter and the daily hostile requirement for the Excelsior. So, Sniper, thoughts on the Outpost directive sourcing?
I appreciate that, Nigel. And I know that Scopely just updated the blog,
Yes.
so there's some new information around the sourcing. So I started to crunch the numbers. I haven't finished crunching them, but from what I could tell, if I'm reading their blog correctly,
Yes.
it seems across everything, assuming you do the Alliance tournament and you do the Battle Pass and everything else, I'm considering two aspects, right? I'm considering free everything that you don't directly pay money for. So, even though it's not free from a currency perspective in game, it's you don't pay money for it, right?
Yes.
So, from what I could see, from what they're specifying, if you do everything free, you get about 9 regular starts and 4 elite starts a month.
Yes.
And if you pay, i.e., buy the Battle Pass, you get 11 regular starts and 5 elite starts a month. I believe I got that correct. Please, anyone correct me
12.
if
I
I'm
think it's
missing
12.
that.
Yeah.
Is it 12? Is it 12?
Yeah, because the cooldown is they say a week, but you
Oh,
can
I considered it for 4 weeks, basically. In a month, some
I've made it for
months will
30
have
days.
5.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Just one at a time because we're recording this as a podcast. But yes, yeah, good. So so with that math, Sniper, go on.
So with that math, what I was looking at was, okay, let's take something like the Fleet Commander seat, which has been a bit of a pain point for a lot of players because of the, newly assigned value that it has been assigned, right?
Yes.
And specifically, that is literally the most expensive thing in the Outpost refinery, bar none, right? I mean, it costs right now 1 million plunder, and
Yes.
I think, as we all know, plunder is the harder of the two currencies to obtain.
Yes.
And it actually costs twice what a vengeance costs, which is 500,000 plunder to get all the DPs for a vengeance. So it is quite expensive. I think it's designed that way to be considered like the end game item for Outpost, right? Like the big prize at the end of the road, if you will. Now, whether that's right or wrong, we can debate. I personally think that it should be a lot cheaper. It should be cheaper than even one vengeance. It certainly should not cost the same price as 2 vengeances. I think it should be, maybe half the price, maybe 250,000. But we could debate that part. But just looking at from this new sourcing, right? Because when we were thinking about even that million plunder, we were thinking about it based on the old sourcing, right? Assuming we were going to get, basically a free, or I should say, a free regular start every 2 days and essentially a elite start every 3 days, right? So those are the sourcing. So now, based on this new current numbers, I started running projections. And this is based. First, I started with myself, right? And I'm not necessarily the greatest use case because, I have every one of the primes for the loot. I have my Cisco loot maxed. I'm able to do the 70s, both regular and elite, with a single ship with a loot crew, right? So it's pretty much almost the best you could do, except for the top 1%, which maybe could do, which can maybe loot crew a 73, or I don't think many, if any, people in the game, even I think the top 76s like El Cid and whatnot, I don't even think they could one ship loot crew a 76 or a 78. I could be wrong, but I don't think they're at that point yet. So it's pretty close to the top of what anyone could do in the game, or at least certainly the amount that 95% of the game could do, right? And based on those calculations, I estimate that if you go the free route, it would take you about 9 months spending your plunder on nothing else, which of course we know is not even realistic, right?
Yes, true.
Because you got to spend the plunder on a bunch of other things in the refinery, including the officers.
Does that include the directives? So 9 months if you bought the directives as well.
No. So this is the what I consider the quote unquote free directive. So this is the AT store.
Yeah.
This is the Battle Pass free track.
Yes.
This is the
Every
pulling every day
yeah.
the ones from the regular Outpost, but it's not paying for the Battle Pass, right?
Yes.
So so if you paid for the Battle Pass, my calculations is you could do it in 7. And
Okay.
again, that's without spending a single piece of plunder on anything else,
Yes.
which again is completely unrealistic. So realistically, it's 7 to 9 months at an absolute best case. Like that is, you are essentially in a position like me where you have all the primes, full loot crew on the 70 single ship, 9 months. Now, let me take it to the other extreme, right?
Yes.
Because most players are going to fall. There's so many variables that it's hard to say for a given player.
Yeah.
But most players are going to fall between these two numbers, right?
Yeah.
And this one may be a little bit of a shock, you know.
Yeah.
But I looked at it from the perspective of like kind of more of base, loot. Not you don't have any of the primes. You don't have Cisco's ability. You're not able to do it with a loot crew, right? So but still based on like 70, which there's some players who are not even going to be able to do that, even with 3 or 4 ships, right?
Yeah.
But if we're just looking at that base, the shocking number is the high number, the free number, if you will.
Yes.
Is about 73 months.
73 months.
or around 6 years.
Jesus Christ.
To get that.
Yeah, so 73 months for that, but at least let's hope they listen, because they've heard of the earlier stuff, and with that theory on how long it takes, and that is if people are not pulling anything else, doing anything, anything fun.
Correct. All that is based on you doing nothing else. I'm going to later on put together some numbers, Nigel.
Yeah,
with
please do.
What I like if you did the polls, what it would take, but those numbers are going to be much worse, right?
Yeah.
If we just assume, just based on, like I said, the best case scenario as being 7 to 9 months, you're probably, if you actually do other polls, you're probably a minimum looking at a year, right?
Yeah.
To get there.
That's true, and this is the next thing. I'm just going to move it on slightly, Sniper, with that, because the next thing is very important, because I know Julio Vernito, otherwise known as Jules Verne to other people, otherwise known as real name insert here, because I've got his bank account details and we're going to send him some money. Actually, I'll send him a giveaway link, so the money will stay there forever, or he'll ruin it for everyone by not taking it. Epic Protomatter, because I don't think even Julio Vernito spoken about this, or even the legend of the green sheets, Quasel himself. Epic Protomatter is a huge bottleneck and quite expensive for the Prototech. It is great that new ship gives a decent amount of rare, but Epic is by far the biggest bottleneck. So you assume the ship starts giving Epic at tier 11, but I'm not even sure how much. So Jules or Quasel, do you guys have an answer to that one at all? When does it give Elite, Epic Protomatter? Does the ship give you that? Let's see on any sheets that we have. Tier 11
Let me check the sheet, because who cares about the Protec?
Wow.
Sorry, did I say that loud?
What?
Whoa. Well, Jules has already put the sheet down because Quasel's too slow, which is why Jules is legend between the sheets, and Jules is just and Quasel's just green, basically green sheets.
I was just about to read the number.
Unconfirmed, but Quasel, read it out.
Yeah.
Let's see what
22 at tier 11. 22. No, 256, the epic one. That's weird.
No.
Sorry,
Yeah, 22 epic catalysts. Sorry, 22 rare catalysts, and then 256 epic PFT Protomatter, which is the one we're looking at. So 256, which is not a lot, is it, Sniper, at all?
No, it's definitely not a lot. It's definitely not a lot, considering you need hundreds of thousands to just upgrade a single PT, right? So that would literally take you kind of a lifetime. and that is unconfirmed also because I know, and I talked to another player on the private server,
Yes.
who has actually already maxed their ships to tier 15.
Oh wow.
I didn't unfortunately get them to yet share an image of their PFT exchange, but they did share an image of their strongbox, and the strongbox actually had no epic in it. And so, if there's some epic,
it's a separate refinery.
No, I understand that, but remember, but the strongbox does have rare in it, right? Yeah. So I would have presumed that at tier 11, the strongbox would start adding in epic as well, in addition to the dedicated refinery for PFT.
I just corrected the sheet.
Yeah, so he just corrected the sheet.
We have,
we have.
I checked my in-game. We have in the T6 to T10 challenge refinery box 22 epic, and the column header is wrong. That should be epic, the last column.
Oh, okay.
And it starts at tier 6. If you look at my screenshot.
Tier 6 to tier 10 is the tier up catalyst, not the proto matter.
Yeah, the tier up catalyst is correct. I have I have the tier 6 refinery, so I could see that it has 22 epic tier up catalyst.
Yeah,
but it has 0 epic proto matter, and the proto matter is the one I'm talking about. The proto matter is the one that's critical, right?
Yeah.
Remember, the tier up catalyst, you need much smaller numbers, right, to tier up. The proto matter is the resource that you need lots and lots of. And just to put it into perspective, right, as we're talking about numbers, the other main source of epic proto matter is the aggravation loop, or what I call the aggravation loop.
Yeah.
And and it has 2 ways to pull epic proto matter. One is with the rare aggregation loot, and one is with the epic.
Yes.
And if you do a double pull on both of those, so the double pull on the rare gives you 1400 epic, and the double pull on the other one gives you 1760, right? So you're talking about around 3160 combined on that. So even if this did end up giving you 256, it's only a small fraction of what you can already get on the aggregation loop.
Yes.
And even that is a very, very small fraction of what you ultimately need to upgrade those. It could still take you many, many, many months to upgrade even a single P2.
Yeah, that's true. And also, before Ark jumps in, Jules asks you a question there, Sniper, which is, so does it have 2 different rare PFT catalysts? That's the question that he's...
Oh, that's a great question. So,
yeah.
If I'm looking at it for the 6-2-12, it does have 2 different rare catalysts, which may be a bug. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'll even provide a screenshot here that will make it much more clear.
Yeah.
It has a 96 and a 256. Maybe one of those are supposed to be a epic.
Yeah, that's the.
But
I would say the 696 one should be the epic protomata. Would make the most sense.
Yeah, and Joel says as previews are sometimes broken, so it's good to see it, but it's something that hopefully Julio Vernito can deal with it up the chain and be one of the advocates for it. And I do agree, Admiral in Worlder. That's why I like have Sniper on. He's got a soothing voice. While you've got my panicky voice, you got a soothing voice. And I refuse to read any of Lum's chats because Lum has changed his name to something really horrendous and will not be readable in any way possible. So the epic proto matter is something to look forward to. I'm just speeding this through slightly because I want to keep this tight as possible. That's not what she said before anyone does that joke. The daily hostile requirement for the Excelsior. This is very important because Sniper brought this up before anyone behind the scenes said this. And I've had it for 12 hours or whatever it is. So the daily hostile requirement for the Excelsior not sure if the conversation we're following, but basically the short version is there seems to be a possible design flaw in the Excelsior daily. It seems the daily is based on ship tier, not ops level, which itself would be great. However, the higher level hostiles, G7 hostiles, are locked behind a huge warp range around the same levels as the FKR systems for G7. The ship warp range research, though, is ops locks starting at level 7 of the warp range, 70 of the warp range ops lock to the R7D 73, so there's no way to get the ship to the higher hostile system. Therefore, if an Ops 71 or 72 player upgrades the ship to tier 12 plus, they basically will no longer be able to complete their daily for the ship, and they will be totally stuck because you can't pull the refinery or progress on the challenge track. This has to be addressed by either lowering the warp ranges of the systems, removing the op locks from the warp range research, or adjusting the daily somehow. Removing the op locks from the warp range seems the most logical, but I know they might be hesitant to do that, which I agree with you, because it might allow you to use the ship to reach higher level FKR systems. But honestly, that was always been the case with specialty ships anyway. So look at the NX-01, for example. Players were upgrading the warp range on that so they can get to early G5 reaching 60 or 70. Very well brought up. I know people have brought it up. So what are your thoughts, Sniper, regarding that specifically? That was brought up, and I can tell you someone's already brought it up behind the scenes after you've sent it to me, so which has been good.
Yeah. So my thoughts here is, I presume that this was overlooked in some way, right? Because I think in general, Scopely tries to put in protections where they can so players can't necessarily completely shoot themselves in the foot. I mean, they don't do anything to prevent someone from opsing up too early, for instance, or doing things of that nature where they don't have the right ships per se. But even look at what they did with G7 and putting like a mission hostile that was really hard to try and, discourage people from jumping too early, right?
Yes.
So I think in this case, I'm presuming that, giving them the best of intentions, right? And certainly not shilling for them, but they, designed this trying to probably deal with feedback that players have provided with, hey, don't make it as hard as my ops level, make it based on my ship level, because this way I don't have to upgrade the ship all the way to the level of my ops, which, if you're at the top of the game, means you have to upgrade the ship all the way. So they were trying to tie in the hostile level to the ship level, which is great, except what happens when the opposite problem happens? What happens when you upgrade the ship higher than your ops can support, right? I don't think in general it would be a problem without the warp range, because the ship will most likely still be strong enough to take on the hostiles. It's designed so if you have a tier 15 ship, I presume that ship is going to be strong enough, at least as long as your research is not totally out of whack. I presume it'll be strong enough to take out the 80 hostiles, right?
Yes.
Because based on its own abilities. But the problem is, as it's designed right now, you can't get to the 80 hostiles. Even if you have all your other warp research maxed and everything else maxed, because the gap in warp range is large, right? So as you get to level 7 of the warp range research, you need to be level 73. And this is not perhaps only applying to G7, right? I haven't looked at it in detail in the other G ranges, but it's the same kind of thing. There's 3 ops locks essentially on the ship, right?
Yes.
There's the first one is just to build it at 51.
Yes.
The second one is at tier 6, which is at 61, and then tier 11 is 71.
Yeah.
As we all kind of know, ships never change their grade themselves, right? If they start off as a 5-star ship, they're always a 5-star ship, right? But they essentially change what they're expected to do, what their equivalent level is, right?
Yes.
And so as you look at it, a tier 6, Scopely was clearly intending that to mean, okay, you're a early G6, you're 61, right?
Yes.
So that tier is equivalent to 61. And then as you get towards tier 11, so you get to tier 10, you're essentially, the expectation is you're a level 70, right? But functionally, or you're good, and so it's going to be you're okay. You got to hit level 70 hostiles, right?
Yeah, true.
But there's no locks on that, so I could be a 61, and I can get to tier 10, right? And then with the way the events are designed, they do. I did look at the events. It does actually have a range, and you can score a little bit lower than your ops level, but it doesn't matter once you get to the max, because it's like you can score between 77 and 80, right?
Yes,
So
yeah, true.
or 78 and 80. So you still can't get to those systems, right? So I think that's the trouble, is there's a misalignment, right?
Yeah.
And this unfortunately often happens in some of these designs, is there's maybe two different teams working on the things, and there's just a misalignment that's happening. So
Yeah.
I think what
Yeah.
needs to happen is, huh?
Yes.
See, chat, we posted graphs.
Yeah. So see, they have the graphs there. So yeah, you can see at T15, as is specified in the graphs, you basically, if you want to score 1 point for the daily, you need to hit an 80. If you want to score 0.25 points, you can hit a 78. So that's the lowest you can hit. Anything below 78 will score you nothing for the daily.
Yeah, true.
And so
yeah.
So even to get the 78 system, it's warp 5,000.
Yeah, true.
So you can't do that without the research.
Yeah, exactly. So they need to have a look at that, which I know has been brought up. So, and there's some sheets already from Quasel and Jules about various things with regards to that, which is absolutely amazing. McShiz, sorry, you popped in here. Any thoughts regarding anything else you'd like to bring up?
Well, there were a couple of things. I'd been tempted to chime in earlier, but it hadn't got to that. But one thing that just kind of pushed the button of need to talk to it was the argument of, oh, well, then they'll be able to get into the next grade's FKR space. But while G5 doesn't have a lockout, but G6, G7, you're not going there without having hit the mission requirement. So we've had this with the Gordon Eviscerator, where it's, oh, you're not yet G6. Well, even though it's not an FKR system, you can NX out, but you can't take a rip there.
Yeah.
And just with that.
Yeah, that's absolutely spot on with that one, McShiz. I'm glad you brought that up as well. And it adds to the fact that there are players in the lower levels as well. And Sniper's right with that detail. I was quite surprised when I read it, and then no joke, about 3 hours later, someone was like dealing with it behind the scenes, and I'm like, wow, this is an absolute brilliant call with regards to that, and I think that's something that just shows that everyone's aligned in the right way with that one as through. But we've just got to be careful that we give them the right feedback that we need them to sort of look at. The balancing of the challenge track is going to be something that's really difficult to sort of organize, and until people have really, really good detail, they don't know that. People keep advocating and telling everybody that Milestone 5 is the completion. They need to not worry about any of the rest of it unless you have the ship. And then if you wish to get 30, someone told me it was 37.9% extra rewards, then please buy the $20 pack, which I think it's way more than that, to be honest with you, but whatever. I'm sure that's the lower end. And that is important to sort of realize. McShiz says for folks that are 67 or higher, yeah, go on, McShiz, you're back.
So, yeah, no, I was trying to pause for your response.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure where to cut back in, but so that's one aspect of it, and so I don't think we should say anything that that we view that the FKR space is the reason that if making sure the ship can actually reach to where it's supposed to do the daily, that is a totally reasonable thing of if this is where the ship needs for that daily, that should be what sets the range, not, oh, we're protecting this other space. And speaking of the challenge track, one of the things that is kind of a quirk that drives me nuts, why should the challenge track for this month content now be the better sourcing of progression of the Outpost Control Center than the actual loop and the outposts for it? For probably most, if not all, for at least, I'll just put this, at least op 64 and below, and I picked that number because that's where I'm at.
Yes.
But I think for a lot of players, it will end up, you will get at least as much, if not more, from what you do from Outposts, because I know a lot of folks have advocated for punching down and looting.
Yeah.
But one of the arguments that I've always made is, if you didn't pack the building and you haven't hit to OCC 40,
Yeah.
You're not like getting there by punching down anything below the 63 outpost.
Yeah.
You're not really making much progress. Like it is a vast number. Like from where I'm at, from OCC 31 to 40.
Yeah.
It is 52.6 thousand of them.
Yeah.
60 is 500. It is 780 for the 63. So, that just getting about nearly 50% more does make a significant cut down in the time to get that progression. And if we're just looking at here's what we can do if we base the math off of doing it at Outpost 70.
I understand the theory behind it, which I think is definitely being brought up, and also just to try and throw a little bit of humor here, as like Blue Mandalorian says, just be ops. Major Samwa says, breathe the ops, embody the ops, be one with the ops, and then Blue Mando says, no, you can't just be ops, you just don't ops or oops. Which is kind of a funny joke, but, I don't know what you guys find funny out there. And then Blue Mando has a very important quote for everybody that everyone needs to understand. He just said, have you tried just getting good? Is the other thought on that. I will now allow George onto the stage, people. So, Maktaka, you're going to have to try and control the situation. George, you're here. Let's go.
Is that even possible to control George?
I mean, we're trying.
Yes, it is possible.
Okay. Go on, George. Yeah, go on.
Okay, so I'm a little confused about the Outpost event. There's going to be an Outpost event prior to the Battle Pass event. So if I want to do Outpost right now, am I going to be not having a good time during the event are you going to give us extra Outpost directives?
I don't think the word extra Outpost directives were in that blog, but I would assume. Remember what the word assume means: making an ass out of you and me, making an ass out of you and me. So I would assume wrongly that the event will give you something, or some sort of start, or something really useful that you want to go to. You'd hope so, but what do you think, Quazel?
The thing is, it's how they called it, WHO. So, sorry, not English, but while holding Outpost. So you can score even if you don't run an Outpost. That's the same style of event we had all months long, last 2 months. Just additional points if you're doing an Outpost. That's like to entice you running an Outpost, but you don't need to. And I think they even added the same about Cisco that we had, that if a Cisco is in the first slot, you get twice the points.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's all optional and conditional and should entice spend. I mean, and it's an SMS or whatever, so I wouldn't fuss too much about it.
And also, the one thing that Lum is trying to get me to read his name, which obviously, well, Lum, you now have more than three letters in your name, so you have no excuse. Lum says, here's your Outpost instructions. Do one Outpost. If you hit your stars limits, you can claim more. Repeat. So kind of makes sense. Hit your limits. Hopefully you'll have enough for that week to do whatever it is that the events are, and you can get some loot. Hopefully they'll have some rare Outpost building materials in the Outpost event. Otherwise, that would be...
Well, that's why I was doing Outpost right now. Like last night I did Elite Outpost because I'm trying to build up my rare for next week's COTA building, to build that up.
Yeah.
But now, after reading that, they say they're going to be a Battle Pass a week before the Battle Pass. They're going to have Outpost events.
Yeah.
So
until the thing is, George, we don't know till it happens. Everything's TBC. So and everything will be probably changed last minute. We'll probably be doing this again next week, and hopefully we can convince Jules Verne to finally join us on stage for once. But he's Mr. Big Time. He's in the Big Time podcast. We're asking him to come down to our level just to allow us a bit of freedom. He's the Cristiano Ronaldo of the STFC, and the Cristiano Ronaldo of STFC. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe this is going to happen. We're waiting for him to come on stage.
Hello.
He's here, and let's mute the music in time. Mr. Jules.
Oh
Oh, here we go. Thank you very much.
Hi, Nigel.
Mr. Jules is here. Yes, we love Jules. We loved you. Jules, I can't believe it. I mean, are you okay? Are you ill? Are you happy to be here? just,
this is the thing with you and Luke's podcast. They always happen while I'm at work, so I really can't jump on that often.
So basically, if you're at work and you're listening to a character called Jules Verne, this is not the guy you're thinking of. It's a different person. Yeah, great. That's obviously amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, anyone in the Chicagoland area, not that Jules.
Yeah,
different Jules.
Yeah, different Jules. So yes, Jules. With that outpost and everything, what are your thoughts here?
Well, I mean, it's obviously less.
Yes.
I don't think there's any way of putting around that. It's less than what we had before, and what's hard to understand is the way that they designed the directive sourcing in the first months.
Yes.
I'm going to say months because it was 2 months of directive sourcing. The way that they've done it.
Yeah.
Was that always intended to be, hey, here's the bonus, directive sourcing, so you can get into the loop, and then we'll, give you the permanent sourcing. But what I think that they failed to do, and what they should have done, is if this was going to be their plan all along, to have said that from the beginning and said, hey, the sourcing that you're seeing, like this extra claim that you're getting 300 every single day, this is your bonus. I think we would have been happier knowing that up front, knowing that the sourcing would never be this high.
Yeah.
And having this being a bonus, we would have changed our math. Now, we may still see a different value at that math, but seeing that as the value at the very beginning versus having 2 months of basically a standard being set of the value that the outpost gives changes everything. So it's less. There's no way around it. And are they going to change it? Probably not. Am I happy that there is at least a cadence of an event that exists? And what I'm really happy about, given all of the actual directive sourcing that has been reduced, there's still permanent sourcing within the challenge, or not the challenge, the outpost refinery. So at least that little nugget exists, because what I always think that they have failed at least in the last year or so, has been consistency in events. And that's incursions, that's the Ceres invasion that is now no longer happening. Like, they have been so inconsistent with sourcing something through events that I wanted to make sure that I gave the feedback that there needs to be a permanent source of something somewhere. If you want to continue doing it through events, that's fine, but at least put a drip of things that are sourced in events somewhere permanently.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Absolutely agree with that. Yeah, and there's no way around to look at it. But let's look at the numbers. Hopefully, once they see the numbers and the data, because they like following the data, they would understand. And Jules Verne is not me doing another accent. I can't do that accent if I tried. So that's just definitely going.
This is Nigel. He just pre-recorded all of this talking ahead of time, and he's playing it off right now.
Son of a, just like, yes, yeah, go on, Machiz. Last little point. Let's keep it short as well, please.
Sure. To go back to one thing brought up, like, part of how we got in this situation is all of the events that have come and gone have been things where there haven't been a development of trust of seeing, like, oh, these will return on a scheduled basis, and like, for example, GQ invasions, or tournaments, etc.
Yeah.
And if we look back at other things where we had a limited access at the start, usually we see that access improve. For example, Mirror Universe. And then the last thing that I'll throw in there just for consideration, like, for something to get a path, like, for example, the Wave Defense path, usually the big sign that, like, hey, this is going to keep being a thing.
Yes.
And, yes, the path got adjusted, but we got 2 months of that path, 2 months of, hey, this is the new arc, which it is usually the thing of this is the most engagement.
Yeah.
But it was very, like, do it all the time.
Yes, it's absolutely agree. So at least that we could tell them that feedback. Obviously, it's not as much, which means suddenly all these things are going to be a little bit harder. Hopefully, they're going to source some of the things that are in the outpost a little bit better, because the FC slot has become, like, really, really difficult, and things to help people gain more plunder. And no, you can't just count the primes, because that's not the way on how it works. But Blue Mando has finally nailed it and got a correct thing. Jules's accent is just spreadsheeter. You're absolutely correct, just spreadsheeter. If you can't handle what happens in the sheets, you just go to the green sheets instead and find the cheat sheet. I can't wait till the STFC Pro new website's out. It's absolutely awesome with all that stuff. Sniper, any thoughts regarding any of that? Any questions you have to ask the icon, the franchise, the legend? He does franchise himself out. He sounds Austrian when his name is Quasel, to Jules Verne.
Yeah. Well, first of all, just a general thanks to Jules Verne for all the information he provides to the community. Always awesome. And a fellow math guy. Love it. Right? So I'll just say that to start with.
Yeah.
But I 100% agree with basically everything that Jules said. I think the issue is like in most people's. Well, hold on. I'm going to add a caveat. Though,
Yes,
right?
yes, get in there. Throw a punch in. Let's destroy Jules a little bit. Yeah, let's go for it. Go on.
I think the issue is that it could just be some headcanon, but the issue is, the first month is going to be an introductory thing, right? And things that's going to be the minimum, right? And everything is going to get better from there. So to Jules' point, and he said it like in a pretty good way, like, like we didn't expect that to be the bonus, right? We expected that to be, hey, let's get you started. And then when the permanent sourcing is there, it would be at least as good, but ideally better, right?
Yes.
So those of us who did spend money, for example, to get the primes, to get Cisco, to get everything, when we were calculating and crunching those numbers, and I'm sure Jules did a heck of a lot of those calculations, we were basing it on, okay, well, we're going to at least get these number of directives, right? Like that's the minimum. It could be better, and we hope it will be better. Because I mean, at least I was thinking at that when you look at things like the Fleet Commander slot, I was like, okay, this is already super expensive, but maybe when the permanent sourcing comes, we'll get much more directives, so we can run this all the time, right? So I could run, 2 outposts a day if I wanted to, right?
Yeah.
But that didn't happen, and in fact got worse.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that
Sniper,
is.
can I tag on to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, please do.
So I think that it's important. I was having this conversation with another member of the community today. I think it's important to remember that this action of bringing Outpost as an always-on feature was a direct result of the community having an outcry saying that they will not invest in the Outpost feature unless this is always on because of Scopely's poor track record with Ceres invasions. Right? I think we can remember that this is where that came from. So what the community feels has happened is that we were led to believe that exactly what Sniper is saying. This was going to be the standard going forward.
Yes.
Right? And so then they turned always on, and they left a caveat in their blog post that they were looking at sourcing and availability for the future.
Yes.
Well, we didn't hear anything else, so it was safe to assume that that was going to be the standard, from my understanding.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And I believe we were led to that, and now that feature is over and they've gotten their money or they've gotten their monetization out of that, now it feels like the rug has been pulled out from under us. Oh wait.
Yes.
Now you can't have all that.
Yeah, true. And KJ, just to tag on to that one, Potts comes up with a good point. All this means is Cisco and FC slot are not on the free-to-play radar. Anyone free-to-play that thinks Cisco or the FC slot is attainable are, not going to achieve them.
I just posted exactly that question in the CC channel because we have been asked for feedback.
Yeah.
And I asked the question, is it intended in the end that a low to mid G6 player needs about 1.5 years to unlock Cisco, and even a high G6 player or an 70 player most likely needs at least 200 days to unlock him? Question is that an intended sourcing? Because I mean, I don't find it a good value, but the question is, what's the intention behind it? And then we're not talking about any officer shards pulled or any any of the artifacts pulled or skill points, or I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems very,
Well,
very
and
locked down
Yeah.
for all the stuff that's in there.
Yeah, very briefly, McShiz, because I want to give Brian Racer his time, and then we're starting to run out of time. But yeah, go ahead, McShiz.
Sure. I just want to tag in really quick. We brought up the officers, but we haven't even touched on promoting the officers. Like people may have, like I know as an example, I could have tier 2 promotion that I could do on some of them, but you can't spend that stuff on them yet because we don't have the sourcing. So the acquisition and the progression of that whole group, that's supposed to be, this is part of the whole PvP realm for going forward.
Yeah, exactly. No, absolutely right. The officers become a problem. Everything that refinery becomes way less. Brian Racer, buddy, what would you like to say? Sorry, I couldn't give you the time at the moment, and then we'll jump on with George after that.
Oh, it's okay, Nigel. I was actually just going to touch on exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
But by doing what they've done with Outpost sourcing, they've limited everybody from progressing in that arc. You can't pull the artifacts. You can't upgrade the officers.
Yeah.
At least with the Outpost loot from the retaliation loot.
Yeah.
Most of us probably still have a little bit of a stockpile of that. But like looking at the artifacts, there's no way to upgrade them. We just had a week and a half with no directive sourcing.
Yeah.
And we're about to go through where you can do like one outpost every few days and one elite every week.
Yeah.
I don't know how they expect us to actually get through finishing the outpost building. It takes 2 months at the current rate, from my math, to even do one level of the building.
Yeah,
we're getting dangerously close to heading exactly where we were with the subspace relay building.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the calculations have been made with the primes in the background, and I feel like they've calculated with prime there, and I think that's where the major issue is. Like, oh, but people will have the prime loot. No, they won't, because not everyone
and
will
Cisco.
Yeah, and Cisco, which is only purchasable as far as I'm concerned, and you can't get it free to play, even if you're pulling it every day, or you're not close at the moment and you're still far away. George, what would you like to say, buddy?
What KJ was saying, I was going to say.
Yeah.
They shortened the Outpost battle pass to 1 week.
Yeah.
Because KJ said, well, they made their money. Well, the defense wave has been what? Almost a year?
Yeah.
I don't know. About a year?
Longer.
They still have they have the defense wave battle pass for 2 weeks. It's going to probably start next Tuesday, mid-arc. Why did they shorten the battle pass to 1 week on the Outpost? They could have just put it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks would have was really good when we started the Outpost.
Yeah, but
when we had the season pass last month.
Yeah, but the critical thing, and in summary and conclusion, because I know everyone's going to get excited to sort of jump on, is you've told us it's 28 days. We all assumed it's 28 days. You never said that this was not the permanent selection of it. You changed it. You decided to do something different. For whatever reason, you decided to do something different, which is fair enough. Your game. You get to make your decisions. Brilliant. But you told us that these are permanent. You told us that this is the battle pass. Everyone assumed, outside of you and me, that we become an ass out of you and me for assuming that this is the permanent sourcing. We're like, oh, battle pass is fantastic. They'll have some starts in there. Surely this
they did make an ass out of themselves.
Yeah.
They did say it is a battle pass, but they said it's the last week of the arc for 7 days or 5 days. So they shortened the battle pass dramatically, like a mid-arc battle pass. When we get it between arcs, we get a 5-day, $9 battle or $10 battle pass.
Yeah, but also,
so
playing devil's advocate, because I play both sides of the line always, because that's what I've always looked at it. They must have a reason. The question for people that are advocating, like official CC Jules Verne, official CC Blue Mandalorian, official CC Quasel, I don't know what his last name is, Quasel, STFC.cc, because he couldn't find STFC.green, is also available, is that they will advocate for us. We have loads of very good people here. We have members of PAC in the audience that I know who they are, who will also push for it. If we all together on the same train head in the same direction, pushing for the same thing, we will achieve the change we want to achieve. And that is the most important thing. Teamwork makes the dream work. Exactly, Major Samo. And that's the key way to it. That's Major Samo, so I can't take credit for that. And Jules, I know you've got some incredible thoughts. I'm excited what you're about to say. Off you go, buddy.
Well, I was just going to say that you're absolutely right. Right now, they've expanded their CC program to include a bunch of new people under their official wing. What that has done is renewed the vigor of people within Scopely to listen to those CCs.
Yeah.
If we can, as a team, provide a broad range of feedback, certainly feedback that's backed by math and player experience, we're going to have a better opportunity to make change.
Yes.
What I would suggest for all players here, everyone who's listening, is to reach out to your other content creators, go on their streams, go on their content, go give them some comments about this, because they want to hear from you and they're going to aggregate their opinions in one area, and that's going to make it to people who actually make decisions here. So please support all of the content creators, because that is what we're trying to do. That's why I think a lot of us even signed that NDA, so that we can create that influence and can create that positive change.
Exactly, and that's the most important part of it. That's Jules telling everybody to listen to someone else, but not me. Which is, thank you very much, Jules, for that sales pitch. It's always great. But I encourage
You're welcome, because I'm just you. Just so you know, I am you.
You are me. But the most important thing is, we will support the other. All the other content creators, because we do. Chronox brings a good point that you can just go to their sites in their Discord. Chronox, put please the link to stfc.pro for an invite in here. Please do that, Blue Mando, if you want people at yours. Please, everybody do. And then what I'll do is I'll do one big post, because we will STFC Briefings will do something unique, because if we cross the numbers I need to cross, I can give away 50 battle passes and 50 $100 packs next month. So help me out. Get on the YouTube, press subscribe. It's free. Go on the site. If you wish to pay, good for you. If you don't wish to pay, if you pay, it's going to stfc.pro as a thank you for this month for everything that they do. And we're going to go to the charity as well. And then if you go to Bandit Print as well, he is anything with VOTP in with any purchase will also go towards these things. My aim is to ensure that we are the support structure for everyone, and we are here to help everybody to work in the same direction, in the same way, going down the same path to achieve the same goal, which is make STFC the game we want it to be and make Jules Verne happy again. And with that, I say goodbye.
Speed ahead, we're here to play, exploring galaxies every day. We are hosting the Cosmic Stream, STFC Briefings, it's the ultimate gleam. Tune in for tips and tricks.
Thanks, everybody. I will be back. Jayberg, Sniper, Halo, Darth Wyatt, Doug Holiday, Major Samo. Oh yeah, Ares. There's Quasel. Who cares about Quasel? Thanks, Matako. Daystros. Can we raid to Major Samo? Manic. Thanks, McShiz. LOD. Raider 72. Josh. Love you, buddy. Mickey 50. Tyra. Virtual Army. Sandra. Daystros. Admiral Inwald, I love you, buddy. Today's a good day to die. Mikabath. Monaco. John Deere. Chronox. Lieutenant George. Flossy Bear. Brian Racer. Matt Flat, love you, buddy. Thanks, everybody. Until next time, goodbye.